Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day before we begin the video. Please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers and updates tease Willow Corinthos, Caitlin McMullen, will hit a roadblock this week on the show. There's still one person she has to face, and that's her husband. Will she be banned from seeing Michael Corinthos, most recently Chad Duell, in the Baden-Baden clinic? Willow just signed ill-advised guardianship papers set up by Drew Kane, Cameron Matheson, to make him legal guardian of her and Michael's children should something happen to her. Drew would then raise Wiley and Amelia Corinthos, Viron Weaver, Serenity, and Sequoia Mork-Mack. And it also states Willow would take guardianship of Scout Kane, Cosette Abinant, should something happen to Drew. Willow will need to face Michael concerning these guardianship papers, because the way it is, if something happened to her, Michael would be guardian, and she and Drew don't want that. So, likely Willow will make plans to go to Baden-Baden and talk to Michael in person, possibly having the paperwork in hand for him to sign. She'll have to request a little time off from work in order to make the trip, but figures that shouldn't be a problem. Willow will ask Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, for some help, and even though Willow still has Michael's medical proxy, it appears to have to do with Michael. The next day she'll be surprised at Drew's reaction, and it would be surprising if Drew was okay with Willow having asked for help from Jason. It isn't until the episode of Friday, April 25 that Willow hits the roadblock, so it's not a roadblock that Drew puts up. It may have taken a little time to get the time off with her direct supervisor, head nurse, Elizabeth Baldwin, Rebecca Herbst, recovering. All she'd have had to do is ask co-chiefs of staff Terry Randolph, Cassandra James, or Portia Robinson, Brooke Kerr. Willow appears to be in an office with a woman behind a desk in the promo, who rises to greet her, as Willow's voiceover comes up on the promo. This indicates she's trying to see Michael, who is still in the Baden-Baden burn clinic in Germany. As Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, is in Los Angeles with Sonny Corinthos, Morris Bernard, for his open-heart surgery, and Carly and Jason clash, it can't be Carly who puts up the roadblock. However, whether Jason and Carly are getting along or not, Jason took care of Michael for his first few months of life, due to Carly's postpartum depression. He'll always look out for his nephew and grandnephew and grandniece, so it's likely him who puts a stop to the visit, and possibly the guardianship papers being filed. Willow Corinthos is facing her greatest challenge yet, and it's not cancer, it's not Nina, it's not the usual brand of Quatermain chaos, it's something much more personal, much more destabilizing, and much more dangerous than anyone in Port Charles could have predicted. Michael is gone. And not just gone in the typical Corinthos way this time. There's no burner phone, no vague excuse of a business trip, no trail to follow, only the chilling realization that he's somewhere far away at a facility that seems to specialize in silence and secrecy, the Baden-Baden Clinic in Germany, known to a few in the elite world of mental health and trauma recovery as the place where reputations disappear and secrets are buried, and Willow is being kept out, locked out, left in the dark about the man she loves, the man she nearly died for, the man who stood by her through her illness. Only now he's completely unreachable, and no one can, or will, tell her why. It started quietly enough, a business trip, Michael had said, just a few weeks to clear his head and take a step back from the family empire. He never asked to inherit. Willow believed him at first, because why wouldn't she after everything they'd been through? Trust was all they had left. But then the silence began to stretch, the texts slowed, the calls stopped, and the information coming from Drew and Carly, and even Sonny, dried up, as if there was something more going on, something that had them all scrambling to protect a truth, too ugly to say out loud. When Willow finally pressed Carly, she got a vague answer about rest, about therapy, about taking time to deal with the weight of betrayal. But it didn't sit right, and it certainly didn't explain why Willow's attempts to book a flight to Germany had been denied, or why the clinic itself claimed Michael wasn't accepting visitors, not even from his wife. and she's starting to connect the dots. If Michael is there for something psychological, something tied to trauma or stress, why wouldn't she be allowed to see him? If this is truly for healing, what possible reason would there be to isolate him from his support system? Unless the truth is that someone else made this decision for him, someone with enough influence to make the clinic comply, someone who would convince the world that this was about protection, when in reality, it could be about manipulation or worse, containment. Nina's name keeps coming up in hushed conversations, not just because of the SEC betrayal which continues to fracture the Corinthos family from the inside, but because of her quiet dealings with figures outside Port Charles, whispers of favors called in secrets, traded influence extended to places far beyond Crimson or the Metro Court. And if Nina had any hand in steering Michael toward that clinic, Willow will stop at nothing to prove it. But there are other suspects too. Sonny, who has grown increasingly volatile and unpredictable ever since his return from Puerto Rico, has been taking control in ways that don't align with the man Willow once cautiously admired. Some say Sonny doesn't trust Michael anymore, not since the SEC mess, not since the truth came out about Michael's role in keeping Nina's betrayal hidden. And if Sonny is losing his grip, it's not impossible that he used his own resources to arrange Michael's sudden disappearance, all under the guise of a retreat. Meanwhile, Valentine, who remains a wild card in nearly every ongoing storyline, has reportedly been in contact with someone tied to the Baden-Baden facility, a former Casadine associate who knows how to erase trails and rewrite histories. Is it a coincidence, or is Michael's stay at the clinic part of a broader plan to remove him from the Corinthos legacy altogether? As Willow fights to get answers, she's also battling the internal fear that maybe Michael chose this, maybe after months of watching his family fall apart, of watching Willow's health crisis play out in public, of losing faith in the systems that wants to find him, maybe Michael wanted to vanish. But that thought cuts deeper than any of the conspiracy theories, because if Michael needed space, why didn't he say goodbye? Why didn't he trust her enough to let her be part of his healing? That betrayal, the emotional distance growing between them, is what truly haunts Willow late at night, when she stares at their wedding photos and wonders if the man who swore forever has already let go. Brooklyn is worried. Olivia is reaching out to international contacts. Ned is rattling cages. Drew is increasingly cryptic. And even Jason has raised an eyebrow at the lack of transparency surrounding the clinic. All signs point to a cover-up, one that may have ties to more than just Michael's mental health. What if Michael uncovered something about the Corinthos Empire, or even ELQ, that put him in danger? What if the clinic isn't just a place of healing, but a place where inconvenient truths are buried along with the people who hold them? The walls are closing in, and Willow knows she can't rely on Port Charles politics to break through. She'll have to go rogue, go global, and risk everything to find out what's really happening behind those walls in Baden-Baden. In a daring move, she's planning to charter a private jet, despite Carly's objections, despite Sonny's silent glares, despite Drew's warnings. She's not going to wait anymore. She's tired of sitting in the Quartermain living room, pretending everything is fine, when she knows it's not. This isn't about privilege or patience, it's about love, it's about truth. And it's about a woman who's lost too much already to give up now, even if it means going toe-to-toe with international doctors, federal regulations, and the ever-looming shadow of Sonny Corinthos. She will find Michael, she will look him in the eye, and if someone's holding him against his will or pumping him full of lies, she'll burn it all down to bring him home. And just when it seems Willow's determination might be enough, a mysterious email arrives. No name, no subject line, just a message that reads, "Stop looking, or you won't like what you find." Willow shows it to Carly, who turns pale. She shows it to Jason, who starts digging into old intel. She shows it to Drew, who mutters a name she's never heard before. And now the entire foundation of what she believed is beginning to crack. There's something bigger happening, something no one is willing to say aloud yet, and Michael is at the center of it. Stay with us as we continue this explosive storyline that's shaking General Hospital to its core, because if Willow doesn't get the answers she needs, the entire Corinthos dynasty could implode, and Michael's fate may be sealed behind the locked gates of the Baden-Baden clinic. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our YouTube channel for more update news.